What's up, everybody? Richard back today for another edition of the Warped Report. Today, we have a fairly kind of a light news week, but at the end, after we go through a couple news topics, I do want to talk about the new Born of Osiris record, Angel or Alien, kind of give you some quick ancillary thoughts that I had on that. I did a reaction to it over on my Patreon, which the link to that will be below, but I'll give you some highlights of it. But let's not waste any more time, and let's dive on in. First one that I wanted to talk about, and I know this is kind of a little bit outside of the Warped Tour scene, but like I said, the news was fairly light this week. So this one was kind of interesting. I mean, I know that, like all the metal websites, all they talk about is Slipknot and Corey Taylor. It's very true. But this was kind of interesting. I just thought I'd kind of bring this up. It says, Clown says Slipknot hated each other when they made Iowa. So basically the TLDR, this, and I read through this. So basically, they're coming off of their, I think it was 1999, their first record, the self-titled, and then they were going to do Iowa. And, they were just, a lot of it sounded like, there's obviously it's a large band. There's like 9 members. And, they were the first ever platinum band for Roadrunner Records. And, I'm sure that there were some people who were kind of like, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Probably a lot of people trying to, for the lack of a better term, leech onto their success and try to make a buck. So yeah, he starts up, Clown says up here, says, when we did Iowa, we hated each other. We hated the world. The world hated us. And then down here, Corey Taylor goes on to say, we were just all at odds with each other. I don't know if it was jealousy or if it was just insecurity. Am I pulling my weight? Is the person getting more attention than me? It was just a dark and really spit in the face of everything that the band tried to accomplish on the first album. So, then down here, even more, Clown says, it was a backlash for our dream. We spent 18 months on that first cycle doing these interviews. Agents, managers, it was all performance. And then lastly, down here, by the time we got to the second album, people needed to be curbed and understand their place and that their opinion didn't matter as much as they thought it did. Just because we were the first platinum band on Roadrunner doesn't give anybody the ability to start advising. When we were home to take a breath, it was clear that Iowa was going to be a disturbing and force-fed to the world. Yeah, so pretty much, Slipknot kind of came out of nowhere back in those days. I mean, they were really, I'm sure all of you probably are aware. I mean, back then, a band like Slipknot was just not a thing. So I'm sure that there were a lot of people who wanted to get their hands in the cookie jar, and I'm sure that there was some entertainment. I mean, there's 9 people in this. Let's count. At the time, anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9 people. I mean, it's bound to happen. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. A lot of these bands do have these inner conflicts, and it's totally normal. Next. Mike from Devil Wears Prada broke his tooth. Next, I was going through the metalcore Reddit, and I thought this was kind of interesting. Knocked Loose, their pop culture removed from Spotify. So I went to do some investigating. I'm going to pull over their Spotify page here. And if you'll look, you'll see that it is gone, along with their split EP with Damaged Goods. Now, and the difference is, this record here, so a different shade of blue, their most recent record, Pure Noise Records, and then if you also look at Laugh Tracks, Pure Noise Records. But the real difference between these records and those EPs, which are like with Pop Culture and also the one with Damaged Goods, is that Pop Culture came out on a record label called Little Heart Records, which I have their Facebook page pulled up here. And then also the Damaged Goods split EP, while it came out on No Luck Records, it was actually distributed digitally via Little Heart Records. So to me, this kind of reeks of a copyright dispute, similar to maybe what the Browning had with Earache Records, I believe is the name of the label, where they just straight up just stopped distributing their stuff over these kind of things. So hopefully, this can be resolved, but I don't know. I mean, these things do happen, and I know that a lot of people are into the older Knocked Loose stuff, but I thought that was interesting because usually the metalcore Reddit is filled with not a lot of good stuff. So that was a nice little tidbit there and allowed me to do some investigating, and maybe I can try to poke around a little bit and try to figure out what's going on, but I'm not sure. Lastly, for news, I saw this here. This is also on the metalcore Reddit. It looks like Phinehas is teasing their 5th record. And like they say, it's been a long time. Yeah, Phinehas has always kind of, I felt, been like one of those bands that a hiatus is somewhat normal. I know that, I've seen these guys live, and they're awesome, man. I think they're a super, super underrated band. They didn't really get as much traction as I thought that they would. Or I don't know, man. It's just one of those things that's kind of hard. So like, yeah, 58,000 monthly listeners, and you go back, I mean, they've been around for a long, long time. Like, I remember getting a song off of this record here, which I believe was called The Deepest of Graves. I remember it was like a free download on iTunes like a long, long time ago. So it's good to see them, coming back and doing their thing, and I hope that they find success. And lastly, I want to touch on the Born of Osiris record. So, titled Angel or Alien, I went into this, I listened to 2 singles, White Nile and also Angel or Alien. And I thought they were okay. At first, I liked White Nile a little bit more than Angel or Alien, but actually going back and listening to it, I thought that Angel or Alien was better. My main gripes with the record was that a lot of... And I know this is kind of a Born of Osiris. It's kind of an inherent Born of Osiris problem. A lot of the songs kind of sound fairly similar, even just like in feels and just like in the riffs and everything like that. Like, for example, I know that the first 3 tracks, Poster Child, White Nile, and Angel Alien, which all have music videos, all very similar structure, varying degrees of catchiness, with I think Angel or Alien being the most catchiness. And then from there, you go on to a track like Threat of Your Presence, which was super groovy, and I really enjoyed that track. But then it kind of fell off for me there in the middle, with Love Story, Crossface. Echo Breather was okay, Lost Souls was okay, and You Are the Narrative I thought was good. But I thought that the problem with this album was that Born of Osiris has their sound, but the problem with that is that it's like, for me personally, I just think, okay, like, yeah, this stuff is okay, but like I would just rather go listen to the song Machine over and over again. I'm not taking anything away from these guys, but there's just not a lot that I can really sink my teeth into. I really like the song Threat of Your Presence. And then, over on my Patreon, I gave it about a 7 out of 10 overall, which is okay, but I saw a lot of other people that were really into it, and I think that's cool. I mean, that's awesome if you're super, super into it. But to me, it was just kind of like, to be honest, like, looking at my list here, I only gave 2 songs a grade over 8. And I gave 4 songs with a grade less than a 7. So again, it was just an okay record. And that's what's always kind of stinks about album reviews sometimes, that you kind of walk away and you're like, yeah, there's a couple of tracks, but overall, it's not really a lot to kind of say, it just, nothing really got me jacked up or anything like that. But listen, guys, I appreciate you so much for watching this episode of The Warped Report. Like I said, pretty light news day. I think the lead story here, though, was the Knocked Loose thing, and hopefully, this gets covered in a little bit more detail. I think that's actually kind of an interesting story, and I would like to see the kind of what the fallout is with that. Maybe I'm guessing. Like I said, I'm assuming it's some sort of label dispute over copyrights or streaming rights and that kind of stuff. So we'll see, and I'll keep an eye on that one as well, see how that develops. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Warped Report, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.